mean no place, child.
Good evening, everyone. We are asking the question, who you with in 2024. Yes, we are not finished with 2023. We are asking who you with. And we're going to bring up individuals that was responsible for this year's 2023 Mpulse Summit. Let me tell you, such an amazing time. If you know somebody need to be on this live, go ahead and tap them. Let them know they're going to be here. Let's go ahead and bring the team up. Let's go ahead and bring the team up now so that you will know who you are with and who you will be with in 2023. There's so many aspects behind the scenes. So many people are moving. So many things are transpiring, and yet God is constantly making a way out of no way. So tag somebody right now and say, hey, I was there. I witnessed what was going on. I'm ready for 2024 already. We know we're in the fourth quarter and it's not over yet, but we want you to tap into somebody who should have been there, who was there, who need to hear what we have to say. So I'm going to bring up a couple of people, and I want, I don't want to forget anyone, because it's now the team is growing bigger and larger, and we are so excited about all the aspects of everything that everyone is doing. This first young lady I want to bring to you, she was instrumental with the POCs. I'm talking about an amazing person, walked around, greeted. She did some everything. Y'all know her. Y'all seen it. Y'all please put your hands together for none other than Miss Rhonda Cole.
Hey. How's everybody? Who you with? Who you with?
We gotta ask
you with? Who you with in 2024? I've already seen people who have blocked in. They said, I am in there, Rhonda, 2024. Kathy Benjamin, I seen her text the other day, her post. So it's a lot of people already locking in for 2024, which is great. But I just want to talk about right now the POCs and the volunteers. Oh my gosh. So our POCs, which is the power of connections, they have worked so hard from the beginning communicating with the elite educators. I mean, like when I tell you, sending out text messages, phone calls, trying to feed them all this information that they needed for Mpulse Summit. They did an amazing job. So I want to give shout out to the POCs. And when we got to Mpulse Summit, as always, the POCs worked hard. The volunteers that we had worked hard. Everybody was where they needed to be. I think we greeted, we served, we hyped. We did everything, and I just want to say that this was an amazing summit in our new home, and we're just looking forward for 2024. If you feel like you can handle volunteering, hit us up. POCs, hit us up.
You did.
Of course, we're going to interview you. Of course, we're going to interview you, though, to make sure you can handle the job. But it's an amazing experience, and I'm here 2024. We ready.
You did an amazing job, Rhonda. I'm talking about like sending out emails, contacting people, just doing all the things that you did that was so instrumental in Mpulse Summit. And we are so grateful that you are there, getting you prepared again for Impact Next for 2024. So that is something that we are stepping into as well, to make sure we equip you all the tools that you need to step on out a little bit more. So I'm so grateful for you. Is there anything that you can tell somebody? And I know you have to go because you just went from one place pillar to the pole, everywhere, just everywhere. If you could tell somebody who missed Mpulse Summit and who are second guessing about being an Mpulse Summit, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, you do not want to miss this. This is a summit that's more than just hair. When I tell you, you are filled with, spiritually, you're filled, emotionally, educationally, you're filled with everything that you would need to go back to your salon, to your business, and just to rejuvenate yourself and start again. So you do not want to miss 2024. If you missed it this year, prior years, I know you have seen the feed, because the feed is hot. Everywhere you have turned, everybody are posting Believe 2023. So you just don't want to miss it. Just come and rejuvenate yourself, your spirit, fellowship with people that are in like-minded like you, or in the same business, or just want to be fed. So don't miss it. 2024. Who you with?
All right. I love you. I
Yeah.
love you, Rhonda. I know you have to go.
Me too.
Thank you. Y'all know that is the lead POC, Miss Rhonda Cole out of Columbia, South Carolina. Thank you, Rhonda. We're gonna go ahead and bring up the rest of the team now. Let's just go ahead and bring them all up, because when I tell you these individuals, I can go on and on and on about them, but I just want them to talk about their experience about Mpulse Summit. Experience the experience. So let's go ahead and bring them up. We got Nikki Hanna, we got Lee Oliver and Christy Oliver, we got Jada Whitfield, we have, who else we got on here? We got Chris Bond that's going to be in the building. We have Dana right here. We have Angela in the building. We have Deborah Ayers in the building. These are who you want here. All right. Let me see if anybody else. We got Miss Frenchette Bradley in the building.
Yeah.
Where's she at? Where's she at? So let me tell you. We're going to bring up Pastor Major Jones in a little bit. OMG. To go ahead and put the seal on it. To go ahead and put the seal on it, right? So let's say this. Let's say this, team. And, you know, all of us, you know, some joined last minute. Some joined from the beginning with a pair of the whole nine. Some joined yesterday. Some joined the day before. I'm just kidding. But anyway we go, we are joining family. Miss Nikki, you were at registration. All registrations, you was instrumental with finances. You was instrumental with memory. Like, your memory is bananas. What you remember, and people like, oh, that's so and so. That's so. I'm like, oh my God, how does it feel for you? You know, being behind that desk and seeing people that you kind of talk to through the computer, or maybe on the phone, or, you know, different things like that. How did that feel to really see them walk in the door? Because I know how I felt, but you seen them first before me. How did that feel, Nikki?
Well, you know, it feels great to really put a face to the name. And, you know, people were surprised that I remembered them. I don't know. I could just say it's a gift that God gives me. I just use some type of association. And, hey, I'm like, hey, Kim.
Yeah.
Hey, Kelsina, how y'all doing? They was like, oh, yes, girl, I see you. You here. You got your founders. They were very excited about being founders and getting their boxes. And, you know, it was just really a lot of excitement when people check in at registration. And it just gives me pleasure to really recognize them, congratulate them for being there, because, you know, as I was doing registration, making calls and texts, you know, I really got to know a little bit of background about some of the people. I understood some of their struggles, and to really see that they really made it, you know, I just thank God that, you know, they overcame that. Even though they were going through things, they still made it a point to be there. And, you know, people really, really struggled this year, but overall, I think they were overwhelmed and glad that they made it, because they knew that their breakthrough was coming to Mpulse Summit, and they actually believed. So the theme for this year was definitely appropriate, needed, necessary, because we did believe, and everybody showed out. I mean, from the front to the back and in the middle, I think everybody was really blessed. So,
yes. And
yes.
you were very instrumental in that. Like I said, you were able to point out people who, again, you know, I'm good with faces. Names I'm not so good at, but faces, I got your face. But you really put the pen in everything, and connected those dots, which was so great about Mpulse Summit, because that's what we are. We're family. And we're going to talk about that even more, the family affair about Mpulse Summit in 2024. Lee and Christy, both of you are the power couples on here right now. Tell us about registration. Tell us about the moves that you all made, you know, because Christy, you came in, this is your first year, but your husband was instrumental with all 5 years. You can tell about your experience. Lee, y'all was at registration. How was that?
So I'll start off. So being at registration is always a fun part for me, because most of the time I'm the one that's writing up the bios for the founders. So I usually know who they are. I usually see them. I usually like, hey, how you doing? Welcome back. So it just really felt like family. I love bragging on people.
Yes.
I love people that have decided to invest in us and give us a reason to brag on them. They come from all parts of the country, from Cali to Texas to Oklahoma to from Maryland. They're coming from all over, even from Antigua, right? From Antigua, all over, and they decided to make a commitment in us. So it was just so happy. I was happy just to see their faces, connect with them. You're the one that I wrote the bio on. So you a racing beautician? What are you racing? All that stuff that you find out about people. It was just so amazing getting that next level of connection. And everybody felt like family. And it was better because I had my family here with my wife being with me this year.
I love it. Christy, your first, we didn't work you too hard, did we? I mean, I do have the tendency of doing that a little bit. Yeah, we ain't run you off yet. We didn't run you off.
No, they did not run me off. This year was so amazing. After being at registration for not even that long with registration squad, my question is, Lee, why are you just bringing me? And truth be told, he has been trying to get me to come for years. And just for purposes out of my hands, I wasn't able to. But I am so thankful that God blessed me with the opportunity to come this time and to get to know people that I've been around, but to get to know them better and just to be surrounded by the energy. I mean, it was beautiful. So you're stuck with me now. I hope that's okay.
I love it. I love it. I love it. The thing about it is that we are family. And every year, God is connecting more and more. We find more cousins, right, Nikki? We find more, all these different people like that has amazing talent on this screen. I know there's two new young ladies that a lot of you all have not seen. I've probably seen them walking around like, oh, what do they do? What do they do? But if you would get everybody do like this, If you got one of these and you repping these and you was a founder, if not, then instrumental in making this happen. I'm talking about when I say instruments, this is a whole band, a choir that we putting together. Y'all, please, please, please thank Miss Dana Brightship and Miss Angela, because these lady here, when I tell you, I'm gonna let them speak because Angela now is even working instrumental. She's like, Mitch, I need to make sure that 2024 is gonna be even bigger and better. So she's gonna be working under Nikki. I'm excited about that combo because in between the memory and the mindset and the money, hey, we're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be all right. Dana, right. So Dana, when you did the founders toast, right? And we had the glasses and you did the t-shirts and you did the bags. I mean, every time I was like, oh, I don't really want to bother Dana. Then you'll come up with, okay, Mitch, I got it. This is your first year. I hope we didn't run you off.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like you said, but how did you feel when you seen everyone walking around with an S on their chest? Or should I say a 5 on their chest? You know? How did you feel about the crest on the chest, and as well as how people felt in their paraphernalia, especially on Monday when it was T-shirt day?
I felt grateful, thankful, and blessed to put it all in that. Thankful that you even considered me. Because when we first met, I'm like, now, Mitch, I'm basic. I don't do, but you kept on just saying, oh, you could do this. You could do the glasses. You could do this. So when we think of believe, I actually had you that believed in me, which was so encouraging. So I'm just grateful. It was a good feeling, and I'm grateful to God for the opportunity.
Yeah, you do everything. Like, I think y'all candles was there, glasses was there, jerseys was there, sweatshirts. What else did we have? We had, you name it. If I said print on it, cups that they gave away. So you did some of everything. And so I know 2024, we already visualizing what we're going to do for 2024. So I'm super excited about you being on the winning team with us. And the overseer, we call it the overseer. When I tell you, the overseer is a funny individual, but she don't play about stuff. And so we are definitely grateful because both of you are very instrumental in bringing in our artists, Siobhan Smith and Pastor Major Jones, which will be joining us in a couple of minutes, or should be 1 minute. Because of the fact that you are church family, you joined in with it without question or doubt, without even knowing. This is your first year being at Mpulse Summit, like Christy. And y'all jumped in like y'all been there the whole time. I mean, like, how was that, walking in the door, experiencing? Because I know Pastor talked about it for the last 4 years with the congregation, but now this year, you joined it and you was able to see how things flow and move? What made you say, hey, Mitch, I want to be a part of this? What can I do to this? Overseer?
Well, first, I was so excited. It don't take much when I'm going to something that's a part that's, that's moving. So I was excited. It took me a little longer to get there because I rode with my sister, but I was so excited. I was so ready to go when I first walked through the door. I'm definitely am so happy to have been a part of this and been able to come. I'm definitely inspired. I was so amazed. I didn't bring anything to the table other than my servitude. It made me feel like I got to do something. I got to do something more. Um, but I'm looking forward to working with Nikki. I have to say, I know Rhonda's gone, but she just melted my heart when I met her. She
Oh
actually
yeah.
took off her mustard seed and gave it to me. And I just felt a part. I felt a part of everything that was there. Um, I have a winning personality, so, I can kind of push up on everybody and just get their love. But it was definitely a great experience. Nikki, I'm looking forward to working with you, all of you. So just thank you for the opportunity. And anything that I could do, just let me know.
See, people, what you said is a great word, and everyone that's on the screen knows about service and servitude, which is what we were built on. We wasn't built on anything else but being great servants, and God told us what to do to take it to another level. And so that's where our heart is, and so we continue to want to place that upon everyone else. We have the young lady, we call her the key to the city. You know what I'm saying? When I tell you this girl locked doors, some of the doors, I'm talking about like, oh, you need a limousine? Gotcha. Or you need some food? Gotcha. Or you need this? Gotcha. We're just going to call you Gotcha, right? That's going to be your nickname. So, Deborah Ayers, you are simply amazing. And you came in with us at our new home. We don't know anything about Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm talking about absolutely nothing. But yet you opened up so many doors for us. How did that feel? I hope we didn't run you off this year.
No, you didn't run me off. Hey, everybody. I'm just so excited to have something of this magnitude in my city. So I felt like, you all, there's no way that you could have been in my city and I could not let you fall if I could help it. So, and you, Dana said you believed in her, and I didn't realize how connected I was until you was like, do you know somebody that can do something? Oh yeah, I do know somebody. Oh yeah, I do know somebody. So I believe that God just orchestrated the time and the season. And it was such my pleasure because I believe in Mpulse Summit. And I believe in you because of our history. Our history goes back years and years and years. So it was my pleasure. And I was just so happy again to have something like this, of this magnitude, in the Queen City where I live, so that we can help to change our industry. My students were really, really excited. I teach cosmetology, and my students were volunteers, and then some of them were gifted the opportunity to participate, and they were just so excited. And the other students, it was so much that they were like, so next year when y'all go and when we go. So they were just really, really appreciative and grateful to share the experience. And my goal is to do whatever I need to do to get more future professionals involved, so that we can help to bridge the gap to our industry. And as we pass the torch, that we can be sure that we're passing the torch and our industry is going to be in good hands. So I'm excited, and I appreciate you guys. I'm so happy to be a part of the team, and I'm with you. Who you with? I'm with you. I'm with Mpulse Summit.
I like it. I like it. Jada. When I tell you, you and Chris, y'all were all over the place. Y'all captured so many different things. And then you had an impactful class about social media as well. So you did that. You and there you go, Chris Bond, bring the camera down. Yeah, like a bad kid. I always see his nostrils. Okay. I appreciate it. Yes, okay, right now. All right. So you two together, double duo with all that you're doing. I'm gonna have to go on mute because it's be a feedback. So tell me about y'all experience. I know, Jada, you were an attendee. Then last year you were a presenter. This year you was a presenter, an educator, social media, butterfly. Like you was everywhere. That gentleman right there. So y'all go ahead and talk about how y'all feel about your experiences with Mpulse Summit.
Oh, I thought it was absolutely amazing. And to, I guess, work the hotel, not a room, but work the entire hotel. When people started seeing me coming with the camera in my hand, they knew exactly what was up. Nothing was rehearsed. None of the testimonials were rehearsed. Everybody was ready to speak and give their input on how it impacted them. So I absolutely had a good time. I think this year I was stretched again. I was stretched being an educator, being that social media, and then also being the vendor this year. So it was absolutely amazing. Even with the class that we had together, me and Chris, we had fun in that class. And to be quite honest with you, that was my very, very first time um, educating at the Mpulse Summit. So it was a delight.
Yeah, I had to.
Uh-oh.
All right, testing 1 2. Nope.
So while they get the actual sound together, we had one guy, his name was Arkevius. Am I saying it right? Arkevius Armstrong. We're just gonna call him Double A. Double A was in the building, and Double A was really, he was such a inspiration to meet. And I believe he was just ready to go. He was just ready to go. And so that was a delight. The white party, we actually had a good time with that as well. Does it sound good, Chris?
Would you
Unmute yourself.
talk to this right here? This is the clown of the show, man. Jada, we killed it. Okay. I don't know about Lee in his class or anybody else in the class, but you know, Jada and I, we always kill it. We you know, that's how we do it. People was mad because Frenchie kept peeking at the door, talking about 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Folks was getting real upset with her. I think they made a complaint. But this is how me and Jada do it. You feel me, Dana? This is how we do it. Okay. The people loved us. They loved us.
Absolutely.
Right. And I heard a lot. Some of the surveys came back. They was like, oh, I hope you bring Jada and Chris back. Oh, we need more of Jada and Chris. Oh, please give us. We rank somewhere around 10, 11.
Oh, okay.
This is how we
do.
Gotcha. All right. Anyway, let's get. I don't think y'all see that on the survey, but they did an amazing job. Let's just say this: Saturday leading up to Sunday. So Saturday, let's talk about the all white because we have Pastor Major Jones that took me out at the prayer at the white at all white. I'm like, I'm in the corner, Lord Jesus, like I'm like, I'm supposed to not have like it started already on Saturday. So going through and we made it on the news for those who and look, Mama, we made it on the news. Super excited about that. Yay. So that was such an accomplishment right there. With the all white, I want to thank Tracy Lee, did an amazing job. Jada, Trey Tram, Scotty Toomer, that did an amazing job that presenting. And you had a whole team of individuals, Jada, that was with you. Your influencers, makeup artists. You had Kayla, Renee, not Renee, Jesus, Raina, that was actually a model for you. All individuals had classes that's leading up to it. So the all white was, I got a little bit upset a little bit. Y'all know why I got upset, right? Because I wanted to be outside. You know how you vision things and you like, it's going to be here. And when they said we got to change, I had to take a little moment to go outside and cry a little bit. I'm like, the expectation there, but it ended up being amazing on the inside. You all did a great job, Jada, putting that together. I was I don't like to see anybody present. I don't, because I want to be surprised at everything, music, whatever they're going to play. How was that experience at the all white for you?
It was again absolutely amazing. And then for my daughter to perform with me this year, that was heartfelt. Yes. That was heartfelt. Because that was a last minute decision. I was in here meditating. I was like, you know what? You're gonna do some color guarding this year at the Mpulse Summit, because she used to be in the color guard. Mm-hmm. So I want you to bring it back, and when you're gonna open it up the show for it. So that was great. And then to team up with the influencers so that everybody knows these are the faces of the influences. That was a great partnership.
Yes. And I love the fact that we did the champagne toast. Actually, it wasn't champagne; it was actually seltzer water. When everybody take that, I was like, "Yeah, it was just for the look." Champagne was too expensive down there, so we played it all out. That's I just want to just get a little taste, but it looked good. It looked good with the glasses. You know, what I'm saying they look good. You know who you with. So if they wanted to take their glasses and fill it with whatever they wanted to, they could because we had already did an amazing job from upstairs. We had the founders room. And Pastor was up there in the founders room, and so many people. Let me tell you, that was such a great experience. And when we tell people to go ahead and lock in for the founders, they don't understand that that is only going in to make sure the little trinkets is taken care of. The little things, the details that we pay attention to is so important. So at the all white upstairs, founders, and we are actually looking to see what we can do even better for the all white because we do take into consideration everything that we hear. We take it to heart so that we can really make it better. The all white upstairs, Pastor, Saturday evening, and then we're going to go into Sunday morning. How was that for you to see individuals that recognize who you are? They've been following you. They were like, "Oh my God, that's my pastor." I'm like, "All right, watch it. You know, I got a little. Hold on, but you are the people's pastor, and you was at the all white, and you was able to see individuals up there in the room that are founders that said, "Hey, I believe in Mpulse Summit. I am the first." It was 123, and I was going to 124. The first 123 people that believe in Mpulse Summit in Charlotte, North Carolina. How was that Saturday evening upstairs?
Well, hello to everybody, to all my family. Good to see you all. Um, there is something in when you started talking about that, along with the entire, of course, summit. I think for me, the details make the difference. We were experiencing the heartfelt, committed investment of the entire team who pulled that founders segment together. And I must admit that it was very humbling, as there were several people again that I have seen in times past by way of social media, but to actually have the opportunity to shake their hand, to hug them, for several of them to provide my number for contact. Um, it was just an amazing opportunity to extend my reach of service. And that, of course, I think is the substratum of all that we're doing, but specifically, I can speak for myself in terms of being able to effectively serve. I'm a very hands-on, and you know it, Angie, you know it, and Dana, you know it as well. But I'm a very hands-on pastor,
Yes.
and I don't pastor from a distance. I don't get in people's business, but I want to make sure that if they need me, that I'm there. And so I think for me being there, it made the difference. And even, again, the details of how the room was set up, the ambiance, it was just amazing, of course. And your cousins, they are all right with me. The food that they had prepared, it was laid out. It was an amazing, just an amazing experience, a great feast. And I think I know without doubt that we're going to go bigger and better. But I think that was something that's going to really stand and have residual impact for the years to come because of the experience. And again, the details, as I stated earlier, made the difference.
Yeah. It was great because again, when they walked in, they had Dwayne and they had brisket. They had all kind of stuff that's in there for everyone to partake in, and we were nowhere near. When I tell you stuff, people were giving it out. It was a lot, and everyone enjoyed it. Now let's wake up Sunday morning. The power breakfast. The power breakfast. I know Mr. Lee, you was instrumental in that. Miss Frenchie was instrumental in the power breakfast that morning. How was that experience? And I know many of us sitting in the audience and the questions that was asked and so many more questions need to be answered. Lee, how did that feel to really be able to go from the panel to your classroom and share your expertise in that?
I think the Power Breakfast is still one of the most popular, one of the most powerful events that we have at Impulse. And the reason why is because accessibility.
Mm.
And I think Pastor kind of hit the nail on the head. How accessible are you to the people that you're feeding information to? And Pastor does an amazing job of being accessible. And that's one thing that I can say that I heard from the summit. Everybody felt approachable. Nobody was put on a pedestal, and everybody understood their role, that they were there to serve the people that came for the knowledge. And by being on the stage and hearing the questions and taking the questions from there to the room, it was just so powerful because people were getting their money's worth. People were getting what they came for, beyond what they came for. So it was impactful for me to give people direct answers, help them right where they are to get to another level, and have practical things they could take back with them. It was everything.
I love it. I love it. And you were so great at doing that, because I heard in your classroom, you was like, hey, the question that you had on the panel, we may not have been answered there, but I want to address your question. So that was great to do because so many people are hungry. And that's what we see, exactly what Nikki was saying. There's so many people that were really in need of trying to get there, you know. And I said, this was a seeing season. We had, according to the surveys, we had over 50% new people, new individuals that for the experience. I'm talking about new, never been there, heard about it. My cousin talked about it. I heard about that, but we had some new individuals there. How was that? I'm gonna say, Pastor, because we started out that morning, right? After the power breakfast, we went straight into church service. And you bought a word in the building. I'm talking about a word like you always do. And I think Angie said, or Wendy said yesterday at the church, she was like, he was a beast in the pulpit. You know what I'm saying? You were a real beast in the pulpit. And my girlfriend Rashida said, Mitch, I would never miss a year. I've been trying to get her to come. This is her first time. She was like, your pastor, I've been tuning to him. I started following him, and I started following. How was that, Pastor? Because we moved our home from from Columbia to Charlotte, and now it was 50 some percent all new people. How was that pull for you in the pulpit? You on mute, Pastor. I'm sorry.
My apologies. As with anything, we are habit forming agents. And so we form patterns, we form habits. And we were used to going to South Carolina. I think the opportunity was infused with expectation as we moved to somewhere new. The summit within itself was matured to year 5, but I think we had a fresh start. There was a rekindling of a new fire. And I think that fire was experienced in every class, every session that we had, the Sunday morning service that we had. I automatically think back to a quote. There's a quote from a venerable Chinese philosopher. Some of you may know him. His name is Confucius. His quote says, "What I hear, I can forget. What I see, I can also forget. What I do, however, will forever be etched in the annals of time because I have experienced it." In the marketing world, it is called cliche. That gives us a difference, a different take, a different outlook that develops and sets the tone for our experiences moving forward. It gives us the desire to go on a trip. One of the things that I've noted, there's a very unique quality that God posited into all humanity, and that is the desire for new experiences. Go on a trip, a vacation, a new experience. You determine whether you're going to return to that same place based on the experience that you have. You determine whether you're going to go back to the same store based on the experience and the customer service that you have. We determine whether or not we're going to go back to a store to shop for clothes based on the experience that we have. So I think that our experience becomes the currency or the return on the investment. I think, and I can only speak for myself, I think that the experience that we had this year, yes, overall, but also what God did, I was simply a conduit to communicate the heart of God. There's nothing so powerful or magical about Pastor Major, except for the fact that I said yes to serving God's people. And so I think because we are all speaking the same language, and I'm going to just deposit this because I feel led to share it. There's something that happens when we desire, and decide to collaborate. Because when we collaborate, we move competition out of the way. When we collaborate, we draw strength from each other, and nobody's weak. Why? Because we're partnering with each other to undergird, right? So that when we do present this product to the people that we serve, it is a well-rounded, wholesome product. From every class that I experienced, it was amazing. The worship opportunity was amazing. There were some new components that we had this year that was amazing. We brought in a band. We had two amazing vocalists. It was absolutely amazing. I have to admit this. I'm traveling somewhere this week, this Thursday, to minister, but there was nothing like the experience that we had in Charlotte, North Carolina on Sunday morning at 9:23 during our moment of worship. It was amazing, and I enjoyed it, and I'm honored as always to serve.
Oh yeah, you are definitely the people's pastor. You are Mpulse Summit's overseer. Period. We put a period on the end of that. We had again some amazing vocalists. We had Annalisa Jacobs. We had Sam Rashad that I absolutely love. We also had his band with them that was great, and we had a dancer. And when I tell you, it's my baby cousin, Amira. She surprised me so bad till we all was in tears, the whole family, because we didn't know that she was going to use the clip from when I went to a hair summit, a hair show, and she put that inside of her dance. I was blown. Like I seen a little bit of. I want the whole thing. I told my mom she got to see me the whole thing, but that took me out, and it just went to say you never know who's watching and listening. And that was important because she had to go back some months to even get that clip, and did a great performance on that stage, and she brought it to life. And I absolutely love everything about it. Classes. And I just don't say just classes. These are from elite educators from all over the country. How was the classes? Who said it on classes? Because I said it on some. I was peeping in. I know we had nails that we introduced this year. Nicole Neville's introduced skincare, and she also did eyelashes. We had some great classes. Let's speak about those for a couple of minutes.
I think the classes were absolutely phenomenal. I attended Valtrinda.
Oh yes.
And Damon. Am I saying his name correctly? Damon Johnson of No Grief. And
Damon.
so while I was in Valtrinda's class, she was basically breaking it down to us, giving us contact information on how to get in contact with her after the fact. And it was a very intimate hour session, if you will. And then with Damien's class, he really dropped a lot of jewels when it came to like being in the hair industry and then transferring over into real estate. And so I really enjoyed his class because I would like to take that route as well.
I like it. So I'm up here reading comments. That was like classes were awesome. Nicole Neville's was on here, and when I tell you her class was amazing, we had nails. And I'm just not going to say this because Dana, this is your daughter, and I know you know sometimes we could be, that's my daughter, but her class was amazing. Tell a little bit about Danae's class. And I know today's her birthday. Actually.
Yes, she turned 25 today. Her class was amazing. And Mitch, I'm like you. I'm not saying it just because I'm mommy, but I was absolutely proud of her. The first class on Sunday, she taught about sanitation. So she broke it down. The young ladies were able to actually gather around her. It was pretty much hands on. And she was able to discuss the different reasons of why it's important to be sanitary when you're doing nails, why it's important to use the different products that you're using to be certain that all of your equipment is properly sanitized. So she was answering questions and actually showing them while she was applying the acrylic to the nails. So she did a full set, and then she came back the next day and actually did different designs. So what I loved about it was the young ladies, some were in class, some have already been, doing nails, they're nail technicians, but they had questions, some had problems on how to do different designs. And she was actually doing a different design on each nail. And the model that she had would actually go online. And she said, just pick something so I can show them that it's important when people come to you, you have to be well equipped to serve them. Everyone's not going to get the same color. Everyone's not going to get the same design, but you need to be able to properly service your client. So it was just wonderful to see her in action and see how she was able to interact with the young ladies that were there.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of my students took her class, and that was one of the highlights. They took her class, and they were like, she showed us how to do designs, and they were telling the other students about how she just was like, they called it freestyling. They was like, you just did the design, and then she did it. And they appreciated the fact that she was their age. They didn't feel like it was somebody that was older and had been in the industry. So they could really relate to her. So that was one of the highlights for them as well.
Right. And Mitch, if I can also add this as well, when we're talking about serving and being in position, and when people offer you an opportunity, like you didn't have to offer her that opportunity, but you did. And those things lead to other opportunities as well. There were teachers, someone that's actually from a local high school here, that's invited her to come out to the local high school and talk to the young ladies that are there. So you have to be certain that you're in position, that you have the right attitude, that you're able to properly communicate, because you never know what doors are going to open for you. So I just say be in position and be ready when you're asked.
Love it. I love it. We have Ms. D. Clay on here, and Deborah and Dee was great at bringing in our future professionals into Mpulse Summit. And the feeling of them walking around, they were so excited, taking pictures and videos, and they had their gold bags and, the whole nine. Dee, how was that for you? Because I know your heart is with your future professionals along with Deborah. How was that to bring in future professionals into it? Because you sponsored, I want to say, about 3 of them to come to Mpulse Summit.
It was amazing to see their hungry minds be able to soak up and just eat and just overfill. They were just so full. I had a young man, he's naturally not in school, but he's new in the business, and it was just overwhelming for him. It's just to see in the way that everybody just, what I love about the educators that we have is they don't speak at, and they don't teach at people. They speak and they talk with them, and they talk and they walk with them. So it doesn't matter if they have someone in the class who's been in the business 45 years or somebody who's been in there 2 months. They make sure they take the time and break it down where everyone can understand. So it was a growing ground for the future professionals to see their excitements, even the ones who were there
that
were just
took the
there
class
to go in and be volunteers. They were actually able to sit in classes. And what else can you do that? What else can you go and volunteer to help and get the education? So the future professionals did an amazing job at their volunteering. And the fact that they could sit in the classes was amazing. And just to watch them soak up and see their eagerness as they went on, it makes me think, we're always talking about how our next generation, how they're this and how they're not that and how they're this. But the ones who showed up this weekend showed there's hope and that there is more than those negative that we see in the business. We have to focus on those people who are the positive. And by getting them to come to Mpulse Summit, they can see what their future is going to be in the industry and where they can be and how they should walk their walk. So I think it is an amazing opportunity for them. And next year, we're going to get more to come, aren't we, Deborah? We're,
I
we're gonna
yeah,
we're gonna have just as much future
yes,
professionals there as we're
yes,
gonna have professionals there.
yes.
So that
My goal
everybody
is
they can
100.
feed off of each other. Not
Yes.
only do they feed off of the people in the class, they soaked up and they fed off of the people who were attending there because they took them in like they were their babies and showed them love. It was just an amazing, amazing connection. Amazing
We are
connection.
family, so we already had a meeting just yesterday. Wasn't really on the calendar, but we met yesterday. It was Lee, Christy, Frenchie, myself, and Chris, Dana, and Angie just yesterday. So we are already starting to think about how can we be better in 2024. So these are some of the highlights that we captured from Impulse Summit.
Impulse Summit for me was confirmation, eye opener, uplifting event. Before coming to Impulse Summit, I faced so many obstacles just the week of coming here. Not having enough money, people telling me that I wasn't going to be able to come. Why am I going? Because I have so many other responsibilities. But I knew I had to be here because there was something here that God needed for me to hear. And so I pressed through and I just said, God, I believe you. I trust you. And I'm going. Got here. My card wasn't working. I had to do some moving around. But he made it work. He made it work. He is going to make my name great. He is going to give me the desires of my heart. And this weekend, and everything that happened, all the classes, all the confirmations, all the word that was given to us gave me that confirmation that if I just believe, he'll give me what he promised.
I was, oh, have mercy. I'm sitting here like trying not to cry because that is so emotional to see people fighting to get to Impulse Summit because they knew God was already preparing something for them, a breakthrough. He was always doing something. So here's something else for us right here. Yes, that I'm telling you, if you have any feelings right now, I know you all over the place because I am all over the place. A lot of people, my mom, she was like, "Oh my God, you're not sleeping, you're not resting." I couldn't rest because I was still on a high from everything that went on this weekend. Pastor, I know you know best the feeling, the shift, the fight, because quite often I was like, please pray for me, please pray for me, because every time we hear, like Nikki said, you hear the stories about people trying to get there and the struggles. There was a young lady that said, Micheline, my husband is upstairs and he's sick. He wanted to make sure I came. She said he was suffering from cancer and he wanted to make sure I came. He was in the room. He came with her. And it's about family and it's about that support that he easily could have said, no, stay home. No, I need you. But he told her, I want you to fight and come to Impulse Summit. And he's not even in the beauty industry. That shift in the atmosphere, that unselfishness that was in the atmosphere of giving, that servitude that was in the atmosphere. I watched Deborah as she served, the masses. I watched first as she served in the masses, and so many people that was there that was released of things that they bought with them. And I just talked to my girlfriend today, Rashida, and she was like, Mitch, I know. She said, the devil tried to fight me. She said, but it was so many things that I know I need to be there for, and I'm already signed up for next year. What was that feeling like, Pastor? Being a pastor and seeing so many people again, individuals who you may not have known personally, that may have followed you, didn't know to follow you. How was that feeling? Because I know how I feel, but how did you feel?
Well, I will always refute back to the word humbling. And by all means, it's an honor because, again, it's just an extension of service that we provide. I've been fortunate now to serve as a senior pastor for over 16 years, but this is year 5 of serving in this capacity. And every year there's something different, there's something new. This year was the year that we had the release, to partner along with the spiritual component on that Sunday morning. And let me just say this: um, it felt like best illustration is knowing that you have a family member that's alive, but you haven't seen them because they've been incarcerated. When they come home or when they are finally released, there's the hugest moment of liberation, freedom, the moment of amalgamating where you come together, you assemble, you embrace. There was so much at one time that was done within the span of those 3 days, but at the release, just life altering altogether. And again, this is not anything that I'm not accustomed to, but every time, when you see or feel release, you have to bear witness of what the scripture says in the book of John. He says, where the Spirit of the Lord is, you're going to always be free, right? And so you're going to know that one, and this is where I'm going with John. John says, you're going to know the truth. So what that indicates to me is that nobody was faking. People came with real problems, but they came in contact with a real God.
Yes.
And you can have all of the real problems that you want to have, but when you come in contact with a real God, it is impossible to come in contact with God and remain the same. And so I was able to bear witness to a true testament of the presence of God, even though it was not a church service. It was a service where God reigned. And again, I'm just humbled and honored to see the movement of God. And I've been talking about that word movement. It hasn't left me since the summit.
Yes.
I've got to preach to thousands of people in Daytona Beach, a couple thousand people, and I haven't been able to release that word move yet because it is still something that is bearing witness. And that's exactly what we experience: a movement of freedom. Because you can move, but when you're limited in your movement, you're really not free. I saw freedom. I saw freedom in the release. Yes.
I felt it. I saw it. I was able to witness it. And it felt good because even when I went there with high expectations, and I went there with my shoulders kind of tight and tense because of what I want individuals to experience with Mpulse Summit. That is bigger than hair. And I'm going to constantly say that it's bigger than hair. And it's about saving souls, changing lives. Just Friday, when we came to set up, we met a gentleman named, well, actually, Lee seen him in the hallway, Octavius. And when I tell you, he made, and somebody made in a comment, awesome, in there. They go Frenchie. So awesome. Octavius came in on Friday. I'm talking about ram in the bush. He was like, let me in, coach. Let me in. And I'm talking about this gentleman didn't have any promotional material. This gentleman didn't have any flyers. This gentleman didn't have no 12 months start off to promote himself, but he did it, and his class was packed. What is that, Lee? Like a ram in the bush walking in the hallways. Y'all started putting up the banners, and he was like, "What y'all got going on? I see believe, I see church, I see hair." And then you came in and said, "Guess who this is?" I said, "Oh, that's the pianist." I thought that was the keyboard player that we was. But he was like, "No." He said, "Tell him who you are." And he's been brother, family. I mean, like we talk all the time. He's family. How was that, Lee, to see a ram in the bush just walking around right there?
It's funny because as we a lot of times as we're serving our purpose in our station and our position, God will send people on our path that were there for that specific purpose. We still have to act and have to move. And I don't know what it was about him. He seemed like a sharp brother. So he came and asked what we were doing, told him a little bit. He kind of kicked down what he was doing a little bit. I was like, man, in my mind, I was like, I don't know where you're going to fit, but I think you can fit somewhere here. Let me bring you to Mitch. And like from that moment on, when we started talking to him, it was just, it clicked. It was right. He was there at the right time. He was meant to be there at that time. We were meant to make the stops at Bojangles, and don't tell nobody.
Right.
We were meant to make the stops that we needed to make to get us there at that time for us to be in God's accord with meeting that individual. Because, I mean, it's only God that puts those situations in place. It is not a coincidence that he was there that day doing what he was doing. And he brought another element to the summit that we've never really had before. We've never had somebody in that position. We never really thought about having a class that fit what he does, but it was one of the biggest classes there.
Yes.
And when you're doing God's work, he's going to send the people.
Yes.
Right.
And he was the person to come through. Arkevius, he's like my brother for life right now.
Yes.
I mean, I see him every day on my feed because like we chatting back and forth and things like that. But that's just a happenstance. I'm in a place where you are, and I'm the person that you're talking to me, and we connected.
Yes.
And that and we are going to get to the point where that is normalized at Mpulse Summit, where people are making those kind of connections all up and down the summit all day long. The summit, the connections that can potentially change their lives, they are in the room. They are there. They are there to be made. And as we get whole, as we start to grow as individuals and professionals, those connections will become more prevalent and also become more stronger. I 100% believe that. So it was just a godsend to have that gentleman there at that time to fill a need that we didn't know that we had, but is game changer for us moving forward.
That's it. And we always say every year God gonna send us something, and that's what we pray for every day, not one day, but we pray every day on our prayer group at 6:23, 6:45 every morning on every day, not just one day, but every day. Because he continues to saying, let's pray for those who had a desire to be, those who, were there, that they go back and get even bigger belief. Because even with me getting there and everyone else, it was such an array of displacements, but I had to sit still and I started keeping my mouth shut more, opposed to just, worried about so many things. I just kept my mouth shut and said, God, it's in your hands. And he fought so many battles for me, and which that's what you talked about Sunday, Pastor, fighting battles, because when you are being attacked so many ways, God's like, oh, no, I got this. You got it? Well, I got it. You got it? Or I got it. And then when you say go to bed, I'm like, that he's talking to me. Yeah. Yeah, I need to go. So today I went to bed. Today I went to bed. I ain't gonna kidding you, no lie. No, I didn't leave this house. I was determined I was gonna sit here and go to bed today, because that was something that we need to know. We started with the who you with. And it's so funny how DJ Levi, I don't want to leave anyone else. We had the AV by Mr. Elliott, soundproof. Amazing job in Charlotte, North Carolina, right, Frenchie? We had DJ Levi that came all the way from Nashville. His beautiful wife came through. Let me tell you how we shift the atmosphere. She went from "Oh, I just want to go to the all white and the cream and green. I'm gonna just get those tickets." I said, "Okay, okay." And then by the time she finished, she was praying, and she ended up doing it the whole weekend. We was like, sometimes we ain't gotta say that. Sometimes you just gotta feel it to believe it. And they felt it. And so now going into 2024, who you with? It was so funny. God gave me that. I started saying, "Who you with?" And then DJ Levi picked the song up, and then Chris put it on the screen. I said, "Oh, y'all not even playing around up here." You said a word, Chris and Jada and DJ Levi went there and did it. We're going into 2024 already. People say, "Oh, y'all not resting yet?" Absolutely not. We know it's going to be bigger. God says it's going to be bigger. It's already been said. It's already going to be done. We're saying who you with us. And I want Lee to go into this. And I know Frenchie is going to speak on this as well as Christy. 124. 124. The first 124 people for Mpulse Summit. And Lee, you can go ahead and profoundly talk about this. 124.
So 124 is the magic number for us this year. We are going into 2024, and we wanted to make this special for everybody who was there to enjoy us for our 5th year. So what we did is we said, look, we're gonna last year, if you guys remember, it was 150 to be one of the founders. We said, look, it's bigger than that. It's gonna be bigger. So we bringing it down. We're gonna do it $124 to lock in your subscription. What that means is that it's going to be 124 down. That's going to break into 2 parts. One of that is going to be your $53 a month subscription, and one of that is a setup fee for us to make sure that we can get you paid well in advance before the summit. It is 10 total payments, meaning that you will, if you sign up today, which you should do, then you will be done with payments by May. And you will have the rest of the time to get your cream and green right, get your everything for your blue and white right, get everything that you need set up, because you will be locked in. We do have options available for people that want to just knock it all out, boom, and we have something special for people that do actually go ahead and pay for everything in full. If you joined us there, you're locking in the price of this year's summit for next year, and it's gonna be better, all right, and bigger. Trust me, we already been talking about it. We trying to rein Mitch in right now. Hey, hold on now. So we're trying to rein her in right now. What she doing? But it is gonna be bigger and better. but we want to make sure that we gave everybody an opportunity to come. We understand that there were a lot of people that financial challenges started to be an issue getting closer to the summit. And we didn't have the impact that we could because we could not get everybody there. So we are starting early. We are making it accessible for anybody that just showed up this year, getting there at the last minute. We wanted to make sure that we left no doubt in your mind. You can absolutely join us next year. So that is $124 down payment. And it's going to be $53 a month. Last payment is in May. It's 10 payments total. And it equates out to $599, the same price of the summit this year. You're completely done, and we know who you with.
Right.
Miss Frenchie, how was your experience?
From my view, because I'm moving around a bit, I get the enjoyment of watching how people are receiving and believing when they come in, how their lives are changed. Listening to, as everyone has talked about, the struggles of how they got there, determination, the ones believing in themselves, believing in you. So from my point of view, I am observing, and my excitement comes from seeing everyone else receive and be happy, classes going well, people that you've given their first opportunity or those that are returning, and they're so appreciative, so grateful, and coming to do their best for you and for our attendees. So in my point of view, I'm just always grateful at the end for, I know the people that are changed and how that continues out through the year to the next year, how you receive private messages from each of them of how their life has changed, how they feel about receiving gifts, the gifts that are very sentimental. It's not just a gift, it means something to you and it means something to them. So, and just seeing everyone become a family. Our industry sometimes can be divided. What I do know at Impulse Summit that it is a safe space
Right.
and there is no division. Everyone feels equal, and that's the goal of Impulse Summit. So that's my take on it. And I leave changed every year. So I just look forward to the following year and how it progresses because this is your gift. God gave you this gift. You're moving in this gift, and I'm appreciative to be a part of it, and everyone else on our team. So I'm excited about who you with in 24, who you with, who you with, who you with. I'm excited. I
So
am.
definitely, we know God has not totally downloaded air. I talked to Pastor a little bit about where He is leading me to with what He's going to tell us to name it, and so we still know that that doesn't happen for a minute now until I actually get into some deep sleep. Is where that come. But best believe this is going to be bigger.
Yes.
That is a word that we standing on, because we already know that if he showed out this year with new people, imagine what's going to happen. Those are like the ants that Atlanta talked about. The ants are going to go back and get the rest of the people. So a lot of them went. Few came back, but those few brought back some more individuals. So that's what's going to happen in 2024. Again, we already started meeting about it. Yes, we have not rested. We did not rest last year. We went strong from September 26th strong, with September 24th until now, September 24th. So 26. So we definitely know that it's something in the making. I put the PayPal link in there. That's where you can go ahead and lock in. I'm going to go around and ask you all if you was to say one word about Impulse Summit experience, what would it be? And I want to see if anyone else want to add anything. I don't want to leave anybody out. We have Pastor Siobhan Smith that was there. Pastor, you can speak on that as well. Did an amazing job at the release. So many people who, I never heard of her before. Where did you find her at? I actually found her through coming to church at First Lady Women's Empowerment event last year. And so this year, we know that she came life-changing experience for us. And so we definitely know every year we're adding in components. And as our overseer, that is something that I'm coming to you and say, hey, Pastor, what do you think? This, and this, because we all know that this is a safe space for everyone that come. And that's what I had to tell people from the panel. Don't be shame or shy. This is here where you can release everything that you're going through, because you have individuals that either going through it, been through it, know about how to get out of it, you know what I'm saying? Or anything that we all can be relatable to. So again, you see Christy on the phone as a new key holder. You see Dana, you seen Angie that was on here. So individuals to make it more impactful for what we're going through in 2024. So I know for a fact, secure your seats
Right.
right now. Secure your seats right now, because when we say sold out, we mean sold out. You want to say something, Frenchie?
I just meant to reinforce what Lee said. I hope everyone understands that the first 124 gets the last Impulse Summit. Once we're past that, there is an increase. So understand that this is a subscription. Micheline works hard for everyone to be able to come. So understand, we ask that you read, understand, and move forward. So when you make your selection knowing that you are a key holder, that you are a founder locked in at $5.99. After that 124, then there will be a price increase. I want you to visit Impulse Summit website so that you can register. So all of this is key to your, and Lee mentioned, as Micheline always like, there's a gift for the first 24. Lee, did you say the first 24 or the first 124?
124.
The first 124. So just, be mindful and go ahead and register early. Book your hotel early. All of that. Don't be delayed. Don't wait on your friend. Tell your friend to come along now. Y'all figure out a way to get it in and get it done. But yes, looking forward to who you are with.
Mm-hmm. Pastor, you want to say something before we go through? I'm gonna get out of words and I'm gonna let you end it, Pastor. The release. You're on mute, Pastor.
My apologies. As I stated earlier regarding the release, I think that in bringing in new voices, and I'll share this, and I'm sure Pastor Siobhan would not mind me sharing it. I've known her for since my kids were very, very young. And so this was the first time that she actually has come in to minister in this type of environment and atmosphere. So I had to share with her that this is a safe place as well. But I think when she understood, and some of you probably saw me when I walked over to her, that's what I told her. I was like, listen, and it's not to demean or degrade her office. I say, hey, Siobhan, this is a safe place. So be free to minister as you've been given by God. So I think even with that, I mean, she's gone home talking about it. So it's one thing for us to, experience that safety, but then it's something else when a person who comes to minister the word of God. This is again year 5 for me. But for her first year coming in, I think that it is a true testament, as I stated earlier, regarding the authentic, organic work that has gone in, the planning, and the strategy that has gone under, under extreme pressure and testing in order to ensure that this is what is needed. As with anything, there will always be a litmus test to determine if what you do is real or what you do is fake.
Right.
What we experience as a result at the closing is a testament and a staple that this is of God. Yes, it's about hair, but it is so much bigger than hair. If there's any point in time when humanity desires to do something or build something that matters, it's going to always be tested. But again, as long as we stay true to the original formula and walk according to the original manuscript, then we will always see the best performance, not from us, but from God. And that's what we experience, a divine performance.
I love it. So we're going to close with one word. Start with Lee and Christy.
Dynamic.
I would have to say just transformational.
All right, Miss Frenchie.
I was back doing something in the back room. What was the question? I apologize.
The one word you can describe the experience of Mpulse Summit.
Oh, transforming.
All right. Jada.
Beyond expectation.
Dana. You was on mute.
I'm sorry. Motivating.
Deb.
Unbelievable.
D.
Life changing.
You took my word, D. You took my word.
Sorry.
I was like, don't nobody say, I got it. Definitely amazing. Pastor. Well, Chris, what's your word, Chris? And then we're gonna fly Chris. Flying, Chris.
I believe my word would be it have to be release. I think that's what a lot of people got. A lot of people was expecting that, and we delivered. And I won't say we, but I'll say God delivered. There were souls being changed, and I saw it with my own eyes. I saw people being delivered, and transformation being, right there in my camera, because I had the camera right there on you. It needed to be captured. This thing is real, and here, and I'm gonna say this and get out of here. We need more experiences like this, because signs and miracles are for the unbeliever, and so there's a time of revival that is needed. If we need signs and miracles, we need them right now. We need to draw a line in the sand and say, as for me and my family, we're going to serve the Lord. And he is real, and he is alive, and he is still on the throne. He's still changing things. No matter what you're seeing on the internet and all this information and all the things that's going on, God is still in control. So keep believing.
Like,
Thank you.
oh man, flat the Y'all see what I gotta deal with this here? Clown. I would say the word big. Everything about it was big, and that was believing in God. I broke that down. Big is believing in God. Pastor, it's on you now.
Miraculous.
So y'all got the words this evening. All we're saying is lock in with us. It's going to be big, miraculous, transforming, life-changing, motivational. Come on, what's the other words y'all gave me?
Breathtaking. I didn't say that, but breathtaking.
Breathtaking. It's going to be all of that under one roof in Charlotte, North Carolina. All we're going to say is, who you with?
Who you with?
Who you with?
We'll see y'all soon. 2024.